Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, the producer of On Air Education, inviting you to enroll in our 5-day on-air beginning broadcasting workshop, teaching you the ins and outs of what it takes to be on television, radio, and podcasts with real on-the-air training and professional guest speakers from the broadcast industry. Introduce yourself with a brief 60-second video using your phone camera. Beginning broadcasting workshop is limited to only 12 students. Tuition is $995 and all major credit cards are accepted. Email us at newsonelasvegas@gmail.com. Hi everybody, Jonathan Scott with On Air Education. This is episode 13, and our common thread is helping teachers, students, educators, and parents with both distance and blended learning. Today's a very special show for us because we've got three different but still unique guests to talk about a common thread topic, which is autism. So let's go around the room, if we may, starting with the prettiest guest here, Julie Ostrovsky. Talk a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to our audience.
So my name is Julie Ostrovsky. I'm with Autism Community Trust. We are an organization where people with disabilities age in rather than age out. It's totally a social center. We provide the facility for free to any nonprofit. The idea is we want programming, social interactions at no charge to the consumer.
I'm going to stop you right there and say, explain age in or age out.
So many times people with disabilities only get benefits or services up until either age 18 or 21. At Autism Community Trust, we're not programs for kids. We're 18 and up. It's to give adults the opportunity to socialize with their peers in a fun, non-judgmental environment. We have Saturday night socials where we have bands or DJs or music and everyone can come hang out. The facility has a movie room and a game room and a little kitchen and an Xbox room, which might be everybody's favorite. So it's just a fun place where people can hang out with their friends whom lately they haven't seen for a couple of years.
Next, Andrew Devitt, Sports Social.
Yo, what's up? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Talk about how you engage the kids and adults and who your audience is.
Yeah, for sure. So we work with kids, teens, and adults, autism and other special needs, and their typical developing peers. We teach social skills through sports, art, and music. We really focus on helping our students find happiness and friendship in their life.
We need that.
We all
Who doesn't
do, right?
need that? Happiness and friendship in our lives.
So often we, and especially those with special needs, their life is so focused on deficits and therapy and the need to grow and to go to school and to learn. And so we just want to be a piece, a voice in these kids' lives and families' lives that says, hey, happiness and friendship is also important. You know, not that it's more important or, you know, it should just equally be balanced. We are based in a therapy that's called applied behavior analysis.
Say it again.
Applied behavior analysis.
Okay.
Eric will tell you much more about it. We are novices compared to Mr.
Is
Eric
that like
over
B.F.
here.
Skinner?
We complement each other very well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're gonna start introducing Eric. So I'm gonna move over to our friend Erik Lovaas to talk about the Lovaas Center. But first, you handed me something before the show about Mr. Alan A. Candy. And this date is important. You know, we're taping the show, but you're going to talk about your friend. But I want to read this. It says, "Please take a moment today to appreciate the wonderful gifts in your life and recognize what is really important: each other. Tell those you love how much they matter in your life and give them the most precious gift of all, your time. Savor each moment. I feel extremely fortunate. There's so many wonderful people who touch our lives every day. Thank you for being there and being a part of our life." Thank you, Erik Lovaas.
Thank you, Erik Lovaas with the Lovaas Center. I'd love to touch, just bounce off Alan Crandy. He started Feet of Southern Nevada, and on this day 22 years ago, died in a tornado, very freak accident, single fatality in Salt Lake City. And so we try to celebrate his accomplishments every year, and it's great to have this show today.
Well, I've got to ask you about your dad. I want you to talk a little bit about your father because he was a pioneer in autism and in research and in study.
Very good. My father developed the the treatment that's used around the world today. He worked at a UCLA and with about 40 years of research, collective research, peer-reviewed research, rigorous research that's been duplicated in other universities and clinical settings, came up with a package called Early Intensive Behavior Intervention.
Slow it down and say it again for me.
Early Intensive Behavior Intervention.
Early Intensive Behavior Intervention?
Yes.
Which means what?
So if we get a child at 5 or younger and apply a large number of one-to-one instruction hours, teaching the child communication skills, imitation, play, pretty much anything you can think about teaching a child is something that we're going to write a plan for. So through a lot of repetitions, a lot of love, a lot of struggles and accomplishments, we've found that 47% of kids falling 5 years or younger can lose the diagnosis. So there has to be a message of hope with this autism thing. People have to understand that we need to get early diagnosis and we have to get treatment started early.
Am I correct in my assumption that communication is the biggest problem?
But that's when we do parent intakes, that's the first, when we talk about development of the child or development of autism, to say language and communication is the most important thing and the first thing that's noted in as far as a deficit.
Well, all of us here have one common thread, and that common thread is a dear friend of ours named Richard Feminella. And of course, we're dedicating this show to the Richard speedy recovery, our friend, who has really been instrumental with all of us and touched all of our lives in different ways. Julie, I have to tell you, I wore this tie for you. You can't see it because Richard probably is not that tight on, but it's got little horses on it. Right. And the reason I wore it is because I know that your son Mitchell and your family has been very helped with horses. You want to talk about that just for a minute?
Absolutely. And I want to throw out my son spends a lot of time at Andrew's place.
Your son Mitchell.
My son
We have
Mitchell.
to say his name. Yep.
My son Mitchie. And because of Erik, my son is able to go to work every day. And my son is able to ride horses. And I totally believe in the intervention. And when I talk about Mitchell, Mitchell doesn't talk. I keep trying to sign. He still doesn't talk, but he communicates. And it's because of the ABA intervention. Mitchell's passion is horses. And Mitchell can ride like no tomorrow. He's a great cowboy. He rides horses. He did therapy on horses. That's his social. That's his positive reinforcement. And he would love your time.
Well, you know what? I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you as soon as we're the show. I'm going to give you the time. Anyway, my name is Jonathan Scott. You're watching On Air Education. Our guests are Andrew, Julie, and Erik. We're talking about autism, engaging students with both distance and blended learning. We're going to take a short commercial break, and please stick around for more of On Air Education.
Whoever you are, you're one of us. Whatever you want, we'll get you there. If you're not like anyone else, you're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
Welcome to the Great American Pub, a great place to hang out with your friends, watch a game, and enjoy some great pub food. Our kitchen is open 24/7 with our full menu. Try some of our signature dishes like lobster mac and cheese or clam chowder. Join us at the Great American Pub and enjoy happy hour specials. Grab a drink and enjoy great pub food from all over the country right here in Las Vegas. The Great American Pub with 2 great locations, 215 in Eastern and Flamingo in 215.
In a changing world, it's time to change how we look at college. That's why Nevada State College provides excellence with affordability, a campus with diversity, and programs that offer opportunity. Nevada State College. Be bold, be great, be state.
Jonathan Scott back with you on Air Education. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about, if I'm going to say it correctly, both children and adults that are on the spectrum. So explain to me, if you will, I'm going to lead off with you, Julie. I was told last time that we did a show on this topic that that's the right way to say things, is on the spectrum. And that every kid that's on the spectrum has some form of autism. Is that
correct?
Correct. So you two are about to go at each other right before commercial. So do that.
I just want to say thank you because that's why we do this job.
Yeah.
Hearing those words is our reinforcement.
And that's so much of what these 2 gentlemen do is based on positive reinforcement. Andrew mentioned deficits. We focus, when you have a child with a disability, we focus on the deficits. That is not done when you work with either of these gentlemen or their companies or their interventionists, because it's based on positive reinforcement. So Mitchell can't talk, he can communicate. Mitchell can go to work and everybody understands him. Mitchell
What type of work does he do? What's he doing?
Oh, it's perfect. He just started at Intermountain Farmers, a farm store, and he stocks feed and sorts horseshoes and cleans the store and greets customers, and everybody recognizes a smile and a thumbs up and a come on in, and it works.
And you mentioned you signed with Mitchell? Is that what you
Yes. So Mitchell uses ASL as his primary.
What's that stand for?
American Sign Language.
Thank you.
As his primary form of communication. And when we go into various places, we teach 10 basic emergency signs, and Mitchell can hear and understand. And his receptive language, I look at you and your team, is amazing and off the charts, because on the spectrum, Mitchell started very low functioning and unable to participate in kind of our day-to-day world. But because of the interventions and the sports and the high fives and the fist bumps and all the things that come with what these gentlemen and their companies do, he's happy, and people move up and down the spectrum, and he will always have the diagnosis, but it doesn't mean he's not going to have a productive, wonderful life.
What's a sign for an emergency?
Help.
That's it?
Well, if you need help.
I don't know.
I can tell you the sign for rodeo.
I'm from Chicago. We didn't have rodeos. They're having a big rodeo there tonight.
We do.
Andrew, let's talk a little bit more in depth about Sports Social. Again, your website is lvsportsocial.com.
Yep.
How'd you get started doing that?
I was 16 years old and got a job working for your friend Richard, working with his son. And I knew
Joey.
Joey.
We have to say people's names.
Yes. Got a job working there. It sounded like better than like the nursery that I was working at, like the plant nursery, and helping kids. And I wanted to help people. I was only in high school. And anyways, I loved it. I loved working with the families. I loved working and getting to know Joey and getting the opportunity to like connect and help him grow. I didn't love teaching the like more traditional stuff, like things that Erik does. Like to me, I didn't connect with. I hated school as a person, and I wanted to do the things that were reinforcing to me, and I wanted to share that with my kids. And so started teaching Joey how to swim, and then I started teaching him how to ride a bike, and then I started teaching him how to skateboard, and then I started teaching other kids and more kids and more kids. And Julie's
Where are you guys located?
son,
Where's
Mitch,
Sports Social at?
we're Rainbow and 215,
Okay.
southwest side of town.
And so, anybody welcome to come in?
Of course, yeah. We accept all ages and ability ranges. We specialize in with people that have special needs and autism more specifically, but we accept anyone.
Adults as well?
Yep.
So Mitchell still goes, and Mitchell still skateboards. And I will tell you, we all started kind of stalking Andrew because we saw Joey riding a bike, and we're like, what the heck? We can't get our kids to ride a bike. And then we'd see Joey skateboarding, and we were like, who is this kid? And we were blowing up Richard's phone and Maureen's phone, Joey's parents.
Yeah.
And they gave us Andrew's number, and suddenly he has a warehouse with how many kids?
Almost 500.
500 kids.
I want to piggyback on that because I watched the progression, and he became very popular and very difficult to reach. I got ghosted many times, and then bam, here comes Sports Social, So he went on to bigger and better things and is doing great things in the community for us.
So how is your approach different, Erik?
We're more one-on-one instruction. Like I said, it's a very comprehensive program, especially if the child is younger. If the child's older, we'll do more of a targeted program, functional living skills, or working on something that may be an excess, and aggression sometimes is an issue with kids with autism. So it depends how old they are, what their functioning level is. So, yeah.
Well, that's a real situation that I've heard from my actor friend Joe Montaigne, who has a daughter that's on the spectrum, about cooking or getting along on their own, and having their life where they can function without assistance. Am I on target with that?
Correct.
And can you talk about Families for Effective Autism Treatment, FEAT, and this program a little bit?
Yeah, so Alan Crandy, his daughter was my first kiddo here 25 years ago on the 16th this month. So not only does today mark 22 years of the passing of Alan, but also 25 years of me providing services here in Las Vegas. So I encouraged Jan and Alan to open FEAT to have a parent support group because there were up and coming FEAT chapters in Los Angeles and other larger cities that I had done services with. So they opened the FEAT office, and with a few parents on the first holiday parties to now like 7,000 parents. It's absolutely amazing.
You know, my question has always been, when I know about the Lovaas Center, is that there's one here and there's one in Spain.
That's correct.
So this is a big country. I mean, shouldn't there be, I mean, have you talked about LA, Chicago, New York, and some of the bigger cities?
There are Lovaas centers. There's just a different corporation. So there's Lovaas Institute. And so there's Lovaas centers all over the United States and Europe. But for me, for my practice, it's Las Vegas. We had a big presence in Florida and now in Madrid.
I want to go to the Madrid one.
Me too.
I want to
For
do the
the
show
record.
from Madrid.
I was there pre-COVID.
Anyway, you're watching On Air Education. Our topic is helping students, parents, and educators with children, kiddos, I like you saying, kiddos that are on the spectrum. And we're going to take one more short commercial break and come on back more with Erik, Julie, and Andrew. Stay right where you are.
Whoever you are, you're one of us. Whatever you want, we'll get you there. If you're not like anyone else, you're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
Hello, my friends. Jonathan Scott here for Windows Plus to share some interesting new state-of-the-art developments in remodeling your windows and doors that'll save you big bucks on your power bill and change the look of your home. Vinyl windows and doors will have your air conditioner run quieter and more efficiently. Vinyl windows and doors will last you a lifetime and can save you lots of money. Visit our showroom at 5195 South Valley View, 3 blocks south of Tropicana. Call now and get 10% off our wholesale prices. Windows Plus, 702-450-2275.
In a changing world, it's time to change how we look at college. That's why Nevada State College provides excellence with affordability, a campus with diversity, and programs that offer opportunity. Nevada State College. Be bold, be great, be state.
And Jonathan Scott, we're back with On Air Education, where entertainment meets education. And our guests are talking about both children and adults that are considered to be on the spectrum. I'm going to take the charge with Julie Ostrovsky to lead the charge here and talk about effective methods for teachers to help students engage in the opportunities that are available. So
Right.
You've got the chair.
So, couple of things. When you asked the three of us to be here today, it was kind of perfect. Because what Erik does and what Andrew do can help teachers and help students and help parents. And sometimes we forget that there's resources out there, that you don't have to look within the school district, or the private schools don't have to figure it out on their own. People can call Erik and say, is there a teaching approach? We have children who need help. How can you help us in the classroom with the students you are working with one-on-one so we can transition them and generalize these opportunities, these educational opportunities they're getting from Erik. The wonderful thing about Andrew and everything that he's doing is a unique approach, and it's a little bit more fun, nothing personal, but it's a little bit more fun. And so being able to take classes over to sports social and introduce them to those ways of learning where the reinforcement is something physical, or a success on a skateboard, or being able to play a guitar or the drums. And it's those creative opportunities that each of them have come up with that will help teachers in the classroom, can help parents at home. What Richard and I do is allow those young adults, after they've been through all this, or they continue doing this all day long, to come hang out. And again, generalize those skills, use them in a social situation with their peers, chill out, right? All of these interventions, as fun as they are and helpful as they are pretty intense. And so we kind of try to make it all fun by taking the music classes, and we have a drum set in our facility. We don't skateboard, but you can play the video games, you can talk, you can communicate. There's chill space to give the reinforcements just a little bit different. But everything you're saying and all the services they offer can help anybody, a teacher, a student, or a parent who is having a challenge or looking for an opportunity for a person with autism.
Well, we said the biggest challenge, of course, is communication.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the other resources that are available, and then we're going to get into a case study. I'll call it that. But Autism Community Trust, you're one of the founders, again, with Richard Feminella.
Right.
What is Autism Community Trust?
Literally, we are an organization that does fundraisers to help support other autism programs. And you have helped us with a number of them. We have this center. It doesn't cost a nonprofit or anybody doing anything with autism to use the center. In addition, we have given money to FEET, and each of these gentlemen use it. There are other communication tools like ProLoQ and opportunities on a computer or an iPhone or an iPad. And we are not the only donor, but they have amazing donors who, it's iPads for you, iPads.
I think they got $130,000 for iPads.
That was not me. Right, and so a child with communication delays can get an iPad with a program on it where each of their programs will help that child communicate. And I truly believe, at least in our house, communication, as soon as my son Mitchell could communicate, his behaviors were reduced because we understood each other. The frustration was reduced. So I think that's incredibly important.
Well, let's make it personal if we could, and let's talk about your journey with Mitchell and our friend Richard Feminella's journey with Joey all across the room, and how each one of you have impacted their lives. Start with Erik.
Well, in a perfect world, we would get kids at 3 years old, and we would teach the language and the skills necessary to then hand them off to Andrew, who would, really great medium with sports to develop social opportunities. And, ultimately we want the kids to go to school. So, we have a spectrum of kids that respond favorably to the treatment. And with Joey, we watched the progression, and pre-COVID, he was working in the office with Richard, and I miss them both dearly. So
Me too. I miss my buddy. How about you, Andrew? Take us through the journey when you met Joey and Richard.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Like I said, it's 16 years ago or something.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me, it was like, it was difficult at times to find like something that Joey really enjoyed and that he engaged with, similar to the peers around him. It was hard to find that. He would pick up a toy and spin its wheel, and that was the way he engaged with it. And so it was amazing to see him learn how to ride a scooter, learn how to ride a bike, and then be able to go to the skate park, and like he could ride scooters and bikes just like all the other kids were. And that was so meaningful to me and to his parents and to him. Like, he found meaning in it. While I was trying to teach him the color blue or numbers, he wasn't getting it. He was struggling with it. And so while we found other skills to work on, we found some ones that were meaningful to him as well. And so today I pick him up and bring him to Sports Social, and he will ride scooters for hours or play basketball or hang out with friends. Like, it's been really fulfilling. And I'm on the same side with Mitch. I mean, my favorite sport is skateboarding. That's how I got teaching all of these kids, was that I loved skateboarding and I loved kids with autism. And Mitch loves skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
And
I have a confession. I've never been on a skateboard.
Come on down. We'll teach you.
Okay, I have a confession, because Maureen, Joey's mom, we would sit there watching our kids skateboard, and we'd be like, "Chicken, go down that ramp's small." And one day Andrew goes, "You guys get on." And We are horrible at skateboarding and wiped out immediately. And then it was like, good job, boys.
Yeah.
I want to share another sign. This is the sign for friends.
Oh.
And Mitchell goes every Tuesday to Sports Social and he sees friends and he skateboards. And starting about Sunday at 2, we start getting this, and 6 o'clock is when he goes. So if you want to know if our kids look forward to it, they do. And it's reinforcing and it's special and it takes a village, but it takes all of us, parents, educators, Sports Social, to really, we do it for all of our kids. It's just a child with autism requires more people to make the same things happen.
Erik, if you would give our educators who might be watching a tip about engaging the students, what would you say?
The one-to-one setting is very engaging, and I also think getting down on their level, they have those little Fisher-Price plastic chairs. Get in that Fisher-Price plastic chair and show them the love and attention that they deserve. The kids with autism can be engaged very easily. It doesn't require foods or edibles, and I think they're quite intuitive as well. And so when you sit down and your heart and soul is in helping a child improve, you'll see improvement.
Again, Erik Lovaas, the Lovaas Center. That's Lovaas Center, and the website is just that, the Lovaas Center, right?
Yes,
.com. Sports Social, lvsportssocial.com. Andrew Devitt,
Yep.
I got it right.
Sure.
And Julie Ostrovsky, autismcommunitytrust.com.
Yes,
Got that part right?
yes.
I want to say thank you to both of you. Closing message for the audience.
There is hope. There is help. Take advantage. As a parent, don't feel like you're alone. Know there's a whole community here to help. Reach out to FEET and their website because they have so many resources, and just engage. We're all here to help.
Andrew, final closing statement.
Like I said before, happiness, friendship, they're important. Spend time doing it. All you need to do is give it attention, give it time, just like you do everything else. So, yeah.
Erik, closing statement.
A huge shout out to you for making this happen and the platform that you're presenting. I think it's a huge contribution to our society here.
Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank Clark County Education Association for their support, Nevada State College, and Great American Pub. So after this, I think we're going to go to the Great American Pub. And Julie, look what I got for you. This is coming up. Thanks for watching. If you want to reach me, you can get me at news1lasvegas@gmail.com. Jonathan's got that, goes to Mitchell. He gets a tie. I got to thank you to our guests. And thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you to Richard Giacovino and everybody here at the Little Studio Nevada Broadcasters Association. Eat well, party hard, my friends, and most importantly, be nice to each other. Thanks for tuning in.